Hey everyone, this is Bob with BobsCNC and welcome to our troubleshooting series. Today we're going to look at homing on the KL7 series. I actually have a KL755, which is for us our production model. We normally run on the Raspberry Pi, but I have my laptop set up for today. It's a little bit bigger than the 44, but for what we're doing today, it should work out just fine. So again, we're going to talk about homing or maybe the things that we can do when it's not homing. So first, I'd like to just go ahead and show you what it looks like when it does home. So I'll go ahead and click the home button here. You can see the Z is going to go up and down a couple of times. It's going to go in the back corner, which is the 0 point to get started with. And then you'll see that the machine will be in idle on your universal G-code sender screen. So now I'll just go ahead and maybe jog it over and down a little bit so that we can see what happens when it doesn't home. So one of the things that can happen is if you have something in the way of the homing process. So I'll go ahead and home the machine again. And this time I'm just going to kind of hold a screwdriver in here, see what happens. You can see it stopped, and now you'll notice that this axis is actually loose. It's no longer powered. What happens with the servo drives, if it's not where it's supposed to be, it's going to lock everything down. The way that you would fix that is to recycle the power by turning off your control box and then turning it back on. You'll notice that when this condition happens, if you open up the lid in the control box, you'll see a flashing LED on one of the servo drivers, which means that it's aired out. So now, again, if I were to go ahead and hit the home, it would, well, I get to pull it off of home. I guess that would be the one thing that we need to talk about. Because we share the Z and the X2 home switch, if I have it all the way in the back like I do now, and you'll see on the screen the alarm XZ is actually lit up. When I home the machine, what will happen is the Z will actually go down a little bit because it believes that the Z is actually on the home switch. So it will go down and then it will error out. What happens, what you need to do here in this case is just go ahead and unplug the power and then gently move yourself off of the home screen, and you should be able to home fine. Notice now you don't have any alarm key or any alarm message, and it should home correctly. Okay, so if it's not homing correctly, we need to understand how we can diagnose it. For that, you're going to need a magnet, and then we can just walk around and home each of the home switches. Now, I'm going to go ahead again and try to put this in position so that it's easier for me to do with the magnet. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn the power off so that I can just move the gantry around and see what's going on here. So I'm going to pull it up so that I can get to it. So if we were going to do this, we'll start off with the Z-axis. If I hold the magnet up here until I can get the LED to turn red, then you'll see on the screen that it will show up as alarm XZ. This is right because the alarm Z and the alarm X2 are tied together. So the next one would be the Y. So if I put it here, you'll see that I get the alarm Y on the screen. You'll also see that the LED is lit up on the actual home switch. So I should get alarm Y if I hold here. And then if I get underneath where this home switch is, which is a hard one to find, and click on it, I should get the alarm X. And I haven't found it yet. I lost my magnet. But once I find that, okay, I'm going to have to do this from the front, I guess. There we go. It's red, and it should be red on the screen as well. Okay. The other one that we can do is the same side on the other side, and I'll show you a video of that here quickly. It should be the XZ as well. So if you're not getting those home switches, there's a couple things that you can do. First of all, if you've played with the setup wizard, you might have changed some of the settings. So you can always go to the command text box and type in the $RST equals $, and press enter. This will set your firmware back to default. Or if it's still not working, you might go through the troubleshooting and look at your wire diagrams to make sure that you have that connected. So if all of the home switches are working correctly, and the stepper motors are moving in the correct direction, then you should be able to home successfully. If you have other issues, please see the other videos that we have on homing. Thanks.